Let's dive deep into the buck, the most controversial buck, the Rompola buck. Alright, everybody, I know this is a very touchy subject, and I know a lot of you out there are on the Mitch Rompola bandwagon. I was on it for years. The more digging I do into this, I know the less and less I believe him. And I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna prove it to you. This is my opinion, and you probably won't like it. Here we go. All right, let's just dive into this. All right, so we all know who Mitch Rompola is. If you're big into hunting and you're in the hunting industry, you know exactly who he is. For those that really don't, and you've been living under a rock for the last 30 years or whatever, it's how long it's been, then he supposedly shot this buck in Grand Traverse County, Michigan. That was going to be the new potential world record. I know there's a lot of guys defending that. If you live out of state and you've never been here, and I go and I show you the evidence, you would go, oh yeah, no way. Can it happen? Yeah. I know pretty much the area he shot it. I am from the area. I live in the area. I've been hunting this area forever. The only thing that at first when he denied having the X-ray, I was kind of like, okay, maybe this isn't right. That was my first red flag. You work for CB. You're the chairperson for CBM. You have put multiple bucks in the record books from when you lived in Missouri at age 10, which I think at age 10 that's fluke maybe, whatever. Then at age 13 or 14, you go shoot another record for Missouri. I don't know. This is where the more I dig into it, the more skeptical I become. And I'm going to start showing you, I'm telling you and showing you about the evidence that I have come up with. And once you see it, I think you're going to understand where I'm coming from and why this is such crap. Anyways, we'll be right back. Okay, so at an early age, Mitch has got a couple, I don't know how many bucks in the record books at a young age. So we fast forward to 1998, and he shoots this buck, and I guess immediately has it scored by 2 different scores from CBM. And this is where the whirlwind starts. Now, if you look at where he shot it, just outside of Traverse City, Michigan, and you've heard me say this numerous times on my podcast, or whatever you've seen me on, the soil here sucks. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. And to get a deer to produce a rack like that, now the only thing it has going for it is genes. The soil being very, very poor, what has to happen is the body has to be big for it to fill out like that. If the body is small, it's not going to obviously not going to have that big rack. So if you're looking at a 180-pound deer dressed out, there's no way it's going to score like that. Absolutely, just no way up here, no way. So you look at that. That's another red flag. And then when it comes time to have it x-rayed, this was the biggest red flag for me, the biggest. And I've carried that with me since all this come down. I'm going, well, why didn't he? So he's a scorer. He's a chairperson and scorer for CBM. That's Commemorative Bucks of Michigan. You have put numerous bucks in the record books throughout your lifetime. So it does mean something to you. Whether it's an ego trip, whatever. And then this comes about, and you say that doesn't mean anything to you, that if it goes in the record books or not. That's bullshit. That's BS. You go through your life and you're putting buck after buck after buck into the record books, and then you supposedly shoot this world record. And then you say, nah, it doesn't mean anything to me. Whatever. That's a big red flag right there. That's number 2. So the soil and things like that. And if you look at the Traverse City area, and the bucks that come out of there, there's some decent ones. But that would, I think, the biggest one that came out of the Grand Traverse County up until then was like 155. And then just out of nowhere, this 216 shows up. Red flag number 3. Now, as we go on, and he doesn't have it x-rayed and so on and so forth. Over the next few years, he's popping off all these deer that are 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 inches wide. Come on. Another red flag. So he shoots one in Leelanau County, which is the next county west of Traverse City. And then he shoots, I don't know this order, but then he shoots one in Kalkaska County, which is the county I live in. That one was 27, 28 inches wide. And in the following year, he goes 2 hours south of Traverse City to Clare County and shoots another one over 25 inches. This is all before cameras. This is before cameras. How does somebody do that? I mean, you just can't go walk into an area and see some signs, see some buck rub. And the buck rub may give it away here and there. But how does somebody shoot 4 or 5 deer over 25 inches within a 4 or 5 year span, 6 year span? And there was only 4 recorded in the whole state up until then. Another red flag. And as I look at these bucks, 2 or 3 of them are very, very similar. When you're looking at these pictures, the antlers are just coming out and sweeping. They come straight out. Another red flag. It keeps getting better and better. So he shoots one in Kalkaska that was, I think that one was 28 or 29 inches wide. Goes on to Clear County, shoots one just like that. Unbelievable. I got people always. I was a hunting outfitter for over 20 years, and people ask me, over those years, was this really true? And I was telling them, yeah, dude, I see some bucks up here that look similar to that, but not like that. They look really big. It's crazy. We'll be right back.
Every hunter out there wants deer coming into their stand, right? Why do we use full force hunting products? That's why.
All right, we're back. So I have a couple friends that have worked at game ranches. One owned a game ranch. So over the last week or two, I've been talking to them about Metro Impala and this buck. And what they're saying is, I send them pictures. They haven't seen these pictures before about Mitch's bucks from like 2000 through 2006. They didn't know there was other bucks out there. So when I sent them these pictures, the first thing they said was, yeah, game ranch. At a game ranch, they're fed typical minerals. I mean, the minerals are just, they get a steady diet of minerals. So when the body fills out, whatever's extra is going towards the horns. You don't get that in the wild. In fair chase animals, you don't get that. These racks look freaking similar. They all look similar. Now, he's killed some, if somebody says, yeah, I got 4 or 5 bucks in the record books and they're from Michigan and they're from this area, they would be, just like a huge basket rack. That's what's typical here. I do have bucks that I've got on camera that are wide and not that tall. I would say, yeah, if this was true, I would say, yeah, same bloodline, but not the ones he's killed after that. And they all look similar, though. Big rack, small body, that's game ranch. And so you'll see some pictures here. And, and another thing is, when you look at the one from Kalkaska and one from Clear County, very similar. They come straight out, hook out. That's like 100 miles away. And how does somebody go from one or two counties up here and then go south and find something exactly similar? Now, if that was a big thing, I mean, with all the cameras out nowadays, people would be getting the same looking deer on camera. And they're not. They're just not. It's a tough pill to swallow, man. I was on this bandwagon for years, and all of a sudden, it's all unraveling. All right, we'll be right back.
Hey, it's Mark here from Buckeye Outdoors. If there's one thing that we like to use in our woods, it's full force hunting products when the shot counts.
All right, we're back. So when we talk about these counties that Mitch is hunting, it is now, we are now in an antler point restricted area. We get a ton of snow, a ton. And most of that is lake effect off of Lake Michigan. So vegetation is a big thing. They're dealing with probably 4 to 5 months of snow. Now, the last couple of years, it hasn't been that way. But back then, when I first moved up to this area in 2008, my first year here, we had 12 foot by Christmas. So growing racks like that, that's a 1 in a bazillion thing around here. Poor soil, long winters. That's tough. So that deer has to have the genes. Next thing, it's got to be old. It's got to be real old. And for as many hunters that are out there, at that time, I think we had 800,000 hunters, and nobody else seeing this freaking deer in the woods. Come on. And Traverse City is that area is somewhat populated. It's a bigger town, especially for up here. It's huge. For someone else not to see it, come on. And he just happens to go out there and he sees it one day, and then the next day he shoots it. Another red flag. Anyway. These are my opinions. The evidence is there. You look at the brow tines on these deer, especially the world record he says he shot. It's far, way, way out. Brow tines are way out. The one from Kalkaska, same way. And the one from Clare, same way. Odd that these all they kind of have the same characteristics. They're not. How does somebody go to 3 different counties and shoot deer that are so similar? I'm not saying he altered it. I'm just saying there's something funny there. He ain't being. So why didn't he take those other bucks that he shot and put it in the record books? I think what he's doing now, or what he was doing then, it was just trying to save face and say, hey, yeah, I'm the real deal. I can get on these deer. Unbelievable. I'm off the bandwagon. That's it. I think it's all crap. It's my opinion. But I think the evidence is there. So when you're going through here, look at those pictures and see how similar these racks are. How far out the brow tines are on the main beams. How does he go to 3 different counties and shoot 4 or 5 deer that are over 25 inches. Come on, man. When there's only 4 recorded in the whole state since they've been recording. Millions and millions and millions of deer. Incredible. It's all BS. There you go. That's my opinion. Have a great day.